we get that taken care of, all right? Yeah. So this book is their new and selected poems from 1975 to 2015. And I'll be honest, there are some poems in there that are older than that, but I didn't want to cop to the fact that I'm as old as I am. So we'll just pretend that isn't the truth. And this is the title poem of the book, Psychosis in the Produce Department. It is all too much squish. Tomatoes leer, rub red against the flesh. There is danger in their eyes as the carts chart collision courses. Killers are everywhere. Mushrooms disguise as evolution. I keep the juices intact, encased in animal skin. We pick our food for ripeness and color. The cucumbers smirk and beckon. My veins pop like grapes between fingers. I wheel metal through bins. Don't feel like you have to applaud, please. Wait till the end and then go crazy. So this is a poem entitled Live Steam at 8:45. Now, one of the really cool things about this book, some of the poems have this little QR code. And so I have 10 poems that have that QR code on it. And if you're lucky enough to have a smartphone, I have a smartphone, but it's smarter than I am. I have a hard time with it. But you put your smartphone on that QR code, and my voice comes up on your telephone reading the poem. So, what is technology? I'll tell you. So, yeah. So this is one of those poems, and it's Live Steam at 8:45. In this poem, there are no words. All language has stopped, but the pumps boil. Live steam, live steam, live steam at 8:45. Hearts poach, we rip at skin alone and without noise to get at the beat, the color, or where the words are. But this is a poem where there are no words, and all the colors are extinct, rising like steam that hisses in our throats like wordless lies. In this poem, the words sizzle and evaporate. In this poem, the words rise crazy. In this poem, our bodies ache. Our fingers can murder us. But even though we fear death, we offer ourselves to each other as if the muscle and breath of our bodies can also heal. This poem cradles in its palm those things that cannot be said. It asks that you touch this page. So I was born in Los Angeles. I've lived there my entire life. And this is a poem I wrote when my dad was first ill. He's no longer with us. But he was an athlete and a PE teacher at Hamilton High School for 30 years. I was never very PE-like, but I used to be a great dancer. I gave it up to be fat, but I was a pretty good dancer. But my dad, he was also a boxer, and I have this photograph clipping from when in the 1930s when he was a boxer, and it was like that, with his boxing trunks, and it said underneath, Max Bogen, the fighting Hebe. They used to say things like that in the 1930s, it's like, oh, okay. Anyway, I loved my dad, and this is a poem I wrote when he first got sick. And it's called, and this also has one of those things, Harvest Come Home. My father sits huddled in his winter mind. Stubble and chill have aged him. I gather him in with skirts as full as I am, no longer a girl, but willow strong, gathering all my pretty ones, poems and dreams. I call out, Father, who was oak, Father, who was tree. I reach for you with twigs and nestlings, small gray doves to sing in your branches. I billow my skirts and send them flying up, up, up through your spare hours, your brittle leaves, you whose song turns back on itself and chokes, mute and stammering. Harvest, I say, harvest, come home. There is plenty for you here. Of all the poems I've written, and there have been quite a few, this is my most favorite poem. It's entitled Origami, the Unfolding Heart. Origami is the art of paper folding. I beat a stillness of blue tissue birds from shreds, learning to fold smooth chrysanthemums, gold and violet, colors run deep as solitude. Mine was the loneliness of comets, so high and untouchable that only the most foolhardy dared follow the brilliance of my tale, that singular shiver, a hollow consummation I could not hold for the tearing of hearts. No longer muscle, a sheer tissue, I learned to fold again, my body circling, legs around waist, arms against chest, and these gentle birds flutter wings, heart and heart. Now, some of you here know me for a long time, and some of you don't know me at all, but I've had a rather interesting life, and I've had to deal with a lot of things in my life. Now, as I mentioned, this book goes back a lot of years, and this is a poem I wrote at the age of 27. As we were driving up the coast, we passed what is now called the Channel Islands campus of Cal State University, but when I was an inmate there, it was called Camarillo State Hospital. And I was a patient there. So this poem is about my early life when I had to deal with some hard times. 27 years of madness. 1, it is always there. It is in the steak knife you run across your palm to see, just to see if you will bleed. It is in the face in the mirror you want to smash for telling you lies, the eyes for falsifying beauty, the mouth for voicing fraud, the ears that were prey to every con man. 2, I used to believe it was natural to sing in elevators, just like Fred Astaire did it. Then so did I, until at 17, Mama said, "Don't you know only crazy people sing in elevators?" 3. And then there was Jasper, rattling around where no one could see him, a whisper behind my left ear, and I would cut on my arms to show him I was sincere, and rip open my stomach to show him I was pure, virginal, wanting his unborn children, and they called this madness. I was as eager as any house and garden bride. 4. The hospitals were clever. They said, "You have the gift. Why do you try to destroy it?" And I will tell you now, it is not a gift to know that words are not your own, to know that you can produce a prism from nothingness. It is a terror to be a magician, that somebody who lives in this body and I who never wanted this body becomes good Laurel, darling Laurel, gifted Laurel. These are all names. They name me. They strip my controls. They open the skull and peer inside, not knowing that I have the final control of my life. I can destroy it. 5. James and Ramon were fighting in the day room. The orderlies rushed in. They were separated, blood on the walls. Someone walks me back to my room. I turn my head. They leave the room. I open the drawers. I take out my stockings. I am not there. I take the chair. I go to the bathroom. I stand on the chair. I knot the stockings around my neck. I knot the other end to the shower rod. I really am your good girl, Mama. Okay, on a little lighter side, this poem is entitled Chiropractor of Love. And one of the first times I went out of town to read poetry, I was invited to go to Santa Fe, New Mexico. And on the way there, we were driving, there was a sign that said, Chiropractor del Amor. I thought to myself, that's kind of interesting. Chiropractor of Love. So I wrote this poem. Chiropractor del Amor, Chiropractor of Love. He was available for house calls. And she could feel her spine straighten when he cracked her. She was silly putty until she was stretched out and gooey. And that wasn't all. He was cheap. Cheaper than her gynecologist anyway. He gave her life meaning. He gave her a standing appointment. Soon she began to hum a low vibrato in her chest. Anyhow, I don't want to read too long because I don't want to, take away from your time. I have a few more to read. So, I'm doing fine? Okay, all right. I'm always kind of conscious. I don't want to overread to my people. Well, then. All right, this is entitled, sometimes people ask me how I get my ideas for my poems. It is attributed to T.S. Eliot, a quote that says, "Minor poets borrow, major poets steal." And I have to say, a lot of my poems are in response to other poems that I've read by other poets. And one of the poem I'm going to read next is called "The Door for Love and Death." And it was in response to a poet named Tomáš Salomon, great Slovenian poet. And the line was, the poem included the line, "The Door for Love and Death." And I thought, whoa, that's so cool. So I carry around a little book sometimes, and when I read something, I put things down, and then I steal it and put it make it the name of something. And even the title of my last book, which was called "Washing a Language," was from a line by Margaret Atwood for a prose poem she wrote called Mute, and it said, "How do you wash a language?" That's such a cool line, so I made it the title of my last book, but not this one. This is the current book. Anyway, so this is called The Door for Love and Death. You push the shadow against the wall. Open the door for love and death. What rooms are rented there? In the room of exquisite torture, a woman watches her lover shave. In the room of hopeless romantic, a man weeps before a portrait of Voltaire. In the room of maternal instinct, the rose is embalmed. In the room of amorous adventure, both doors hide the tiger. In the room of my life, I give up one and love the other. LA, and I've lived here there my whole life, and I've had many strange jobs. One of them, I worked at the William Morris Agency, and I would see people come into town, pack everything up, come to Los Angeles to try to make it, and then have to go back because they had all their dreams in their trucks, but unfortunately, Los Angeles isn't a terribly hospitable place to everybody. Anyway, this poem is called Last Exit to East Jesus. We've come from Racine, Tacoma, East Lansing. We've come to discover whatever meaning we can in our God-forsaken backyards, in our barbecues and swing sets. Square rooms opening on other square rooms, endless fields of opportunity flatten in our daily aperture of truncated dreams. 6 p.m. and we roll out from dinner, shambling, put our hands on the television set and say, "Thank you, Jesus, who died and was resurrected in the morning paper for our sins, and we are so grateful for the smallness of it all, minutiae elevated to grace. We hold our truths to be self-evident. Schedule and dictum guide our circumspect journeys. The last exit to East Jesus. We took the turnpike south and didn't stop until we got here." And I'm just going to do 3 more poems. So the first one is entitled Kisses I Remember. And it's hiding in this poem book. 163. All Bogen all the time. Here we are. Kisses I Remember. In 1969, Ray Olson kissed me in the front seat of his Rambler. He tasted like cigarettes, and although I never smoked, I still like that taste. In 1958, I kissed my sister goodbye as she married her first husband. 4 more were to follow. In 1982, I went to a Tom Waits concert to avoid seeing Kiss. In 1976, Harley kissed me outside the Vagabond Theater on Wilshire Boulevard. When he ran his lips down my neck, my back arched, and I spilled my purse all over the sidewalk. In May 1995, little Guy Bogen kissed my nose with his orange cat tongue. Sandpaper kiss. In 1962, Robert Goulet kissed me on the forehead backstage at the Coconut Grove. I was 12. Ray Levin, calling from Savannah, always says, "Our kisses make us feel better." He should know. In 1999, listening to Joni Mitchell reminded me that in France they kiss on Main Street. On December 7th, 1971, my father leaned over me and kissed me while his tears splashed my face. It was the first time I realized that he liked me. The empty bottle of chloral hydrate mocked. The red light on the ambulance went around and around. The straps on the gurney held me like a sarcophagus. In 1963, I kissed a mirror to see what I looked like in case James Bond came into my bedroom. 2009, John Harris, S.A. Griffin, Michael C. Ford, and Sherman Pearl kissed me so they could be in this poem. On July 14th, 1992, I kissed my brother and wished him a happy 40th birthday. I watched as he unwrapped my gift, a baseball signed by Willie Mays, his hero. The Kiss of the Spider Woman, 1986. In 1979, I kissed an envelope handwritten by Gene Wilder, the world's greatest lover. December 2004, I kissed Kathleen Lohr, Mark Beaver, Claudia Handler, Brad Dourif, Doug Knott, Janet Sager, Erica Erdman, Nicole Morgan, Jerry Garcia, not that one, Rick Dowler, Cindy Woods, Beth Ruscio, Becky Garcia, the lively Miss Lively, Linda Hogue, Michael Gall, and Venetia Praven, before we listened to Dylan Thomas read A Child's Christmas in Wales on the CD player. Then we all drank too much champagne and orange juice and eggnog. I needed to go to sleep shortly thereafter. In 1965, I kissed my grandmother's powdery face in the nursing home where she died 6 months later. She did not know me, but I had been her favorite. In 1998, I kissed Mark on the cheek. I swore to myself I would never let myself fall in love again. And I didn't. So my next to my last poem, it's called The Pleasures of the Mind. And as they say, hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. So this poem is about being pushed to the edge and then going over. It does have one very bad word in it, so be prepared, okay? It's a 4-letter word that begins with C. So that's it. Be prepared. So you're going to hear it, so, don't throw up or something. All right. The pleasures of the mind. No apologies. I have enjoyed contemplating with much mental abandon the ruin of my enemies. No apologies. Take, for example, the closure of the shady antiquarian bookstore whose owner, a short man in the throes of a prolonged divorce, had hired me, the only woman on staff, to work out his gender issues. Was I the Madonna or the whore? He could not decide whether to genuflect or corner me in the stockroom. What about those dreams as a child where I would find myself in nightly flight above a playground filled with the nasty girls who lived to torment me? Oh, Enola Gay, I summon you with your white heat and ash. Then the heinous Bank of America, the Antichrist I truly believe incarnate, funder of the Vietnam War, a devil dog that nearly hounded me to suicide with overdraft, those overdraft fees, Going postal would have been too easy. If only I had been in possession of my good little Nazi VW Beetle, purchased on time on September 12th, 2001, and rammed it through the B of A's reinforced windows. Then I might have been thought a formidable woman. But perhaps that cursed automobile knew its true genesis and, unloved, born of fear and obligation, it rewarded me instead with a string of accidents and citations. To this day, I relish the memory of the pettiest of vandalisms I set loose upon another vehicle whose driver, a teenage girl slathered in makeup overkill, stole my place at the airport on the night before Thanksgiving, and then, seeing me fuming behind my steering wheel, laughed. I love how one learns so much from literature, such as the chemical mixture and properties of lanolin and lipstick, or the way flying gravel pockmarks a windshield as one kicks it up over asphalt. The contents of the tube of Love That Red I used to Revlon the word cunt on her windshield was bound to hold its gaudy smear for weeks. Actually, to be honest, not only they had the singing telegram, I want to thank you very much for inviting me here and for making me feel welcome. And thank you, Phil. Thank you, Marcia, and thank you, wonderful audience. I look forward to hearing your poems. Okay, the singing telegram. La, la, good news for you, stop, love, stop, love, la, la, singing in shower, he was, la, la, rain, always, you think, showers, babies, good news for you, stop, the sun shining again, stop, no rain, la, la, tomorrow, babies and promises, stop, tomorrow, la, la, he was, stop, the most in the world of everything you love, la, la, sing, 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 echoing against tile, abandoned prison, later you would speak, stop, a glass wall between you, stop, you want to smash, good news for you, you say, love, I love, stop, smash walls, he sings in shower, break on through to the other side, strange concert, your seats were on the side, everywhere, you never spoke directly, stop, guarded everywhere, stop, hiding everywhere, stop, you go upstairs, la la, break on through to the other side, splatter, splatter, splatter on tile, stop, knock, knock. He is the thing, more than your first memory, more than your first treasure, your grandmother's ring, showers and promises, too loud, not loud enough, stop, knock, knock, la, la, a quiet stopping moment, your heart is knock, knock, the door opens, inside everything shines. He is more than your first kiss, more than your 8th grade science project. He stands wet and shining. Stop. You sing. Stop. Good news for you. Stop. I love. Stop. You. Stop. Thank you all very, very much. Thank you.